Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another pull or pass video. So today we're going to be going over the new Red King that just came out in today's patch. Obviously this unit is already out on JP, and the big thing here is that he is pretty much a PvP only unit. So the big thing here is, if we go down here to his actual card, we can look at his unique or passive ability, and it is Sacred Treasure's Wrath. Reduces all enemies' pierce rate by half, and also reduces the value of additional increase or decrease by half in PvP. So he's a big card, kind of like Valenti in that regard, but you run him in the sub slot because his actual cards are not very good. He does have all three cards as an AoE, which is kind of interesting. So he does 120% of attack on all enemies, 120% of attack on all enemies, and disables recovery skills, and then 180, and then disables recovery skills for 2 turns instead of the 1 turn. So that's okay, nothing too crazy. The damage there is, 180 on a max level skill really isn't a whole lot, but I guess you would be using that more for the disabled recovery skills, maybe. And then the other skill actually uses Explosion, which Explosion is an additional damage equal to 100% of damage dealt after a certain number of turns. So if I'm not mistaken, the way that this is worded, additional damage equal to 100% of damage dealt. So I want to say that it's equal to this number as well. So as this stacks up, I'm thinking that this is going to deal 150% of attack as well, just after the certain time limit. So the way it works is inflicts damage equal to 100% of attack on all enemies and explodes after 2 turns. So you're going to hit them 2 turns later, it's going to explode and deal another 100% damage. Then it's going to hit them, and then after 1 turn, it's going to explode and do another 150% of your attack damage, because that's how much you dealt in the first place, I think. And then, it does 200% after 1 turn. So it's actually kind of an interesting skill, but even then, 200% on a max level skill really just isn't a whole lot. There's a lot better scaling on a lot more units, so he's not really good as far as damage dealer goes, and he doesn't have any sort of supporty kind of skills. Like Blue King at least has the heal that can purge debuffs and heal at level 2, and I don't know. He doesn't have a whole lot of. He doesn't have really any support in his kit. He uses the same ultimate, which this ultimate is actually still really good. Shatter is just a really good skill, but you would really need to level this up a whole lot for it to really do any good in a lot of the PvP now, because everybody's so leveled up and tanky, at least in ungeared. Where I'm at, my King ults do really well. I think my King is 2/6, and he does pretty decent damage with his ultimate. I want to say he's 2/6. Yeah, mine's 2/6, which isn't anything crazy, but I don't know. That's the kind of the thing, though, is that he's only a PvP unit. Even though he has 2 AoE skills, you would think maybe he would be okay for a farming team. He's not really that good. There's just a lot, you could use him if you really have to or really want to, but there's much better units out there that are going to do you a lot more good than just having Red King for some reason. So that's kind of the thing. If you want to go for him, you can. He is a very good PvP unit in the regard that you put him in the back slot, and it helps go against pin teams and stuff like that. But I don't know. Pin teams already are kind of on the decline at the moment. I can kind of see with the whole Valenti running through the meta right now. The fact that they released Valenti first on global is really hurting the pin team, which is kind of funny. I think the reason why they're doing that is because there was a solid month or 2 before Valenti came out where Blue Demon Meliodas and Lilia were just running over everybody in PvP on JP. So it's understandable that they wanted to kind of counter that and make it to where it's not the only option anyone's using. But yeah, so King is a lot more interesting in that regard, because you put him in the sub slot, and then I would say you'd be able to put an actual damage dealer or somebody that's worthwhile up front, instead of having Valenti doing 0 damage and then you're just building up her ult the whole time. So I don't know. That's pretty much the gist of it. the answer to the question pretty much is, if you do a lot of PvP, he is a very good unit and probably is going to be worth having even in the future, because, you know, a lot of characters that hit really hard rely on pierce rate and stuff like that. So he's going to be good. Like, he's still very relevant in the meta on JP. Like, people run him in the sub slot, you know, still a lot. So, I mean, he is really good in that regard. But if you're more of a PvE player like me, who does a lot more like story and like events and stuff like that, I'm not really worried about it. Maybe you shouldn't be either, but, you know, it is what it is. Anyways, though, that's pretty much going to be it. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. So, yeah, PvE, don't worry about it. PvP, go for it. He's pretty good. So, I'm going to leave a link to my brother's channel, actually, in the description, because I think he is more of a PvP player, and I think he's going to try to spend some of his gems on trying to get him. So, if you want to see some summons for it, I'm not going to be summoning, but I will send you over to him, because he's cool, and he's funny, and you should check out his videos. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe for more content in the future. And if this video was helpful, or you just liked it at all, just leave me a like. That'd be much appreciated. It would help out. So yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video.